If you're feeling stuck and lost in life right now, hello, welcome to the crew. Where have you been? Welcome. Come in, sit down, take a seat. Let's talk. The plateau of latent potential. Wow, that's a lot of big words. Let me explain. The author of Atomic Habits, James Clear, said in his book, progress isn't linear. And we kind of wish it was, right? Because we put in the hard work and we expect to see the results. And quickly. And when we don't get the results after putting so much hard work and effort in, we can feel discouraged, demotivated, and feeling like, what's the point? What's the point in doing this? Is that not relatable? I relate so hard to this because it's so true, right? Like, for example, with my Etsy shop or with this YouTube channel. Can you believe that this YouTube channel started 6 years ago and I've only grown to 2,700 subscribers? 6 years. When people can start up a YouTube channel and go from 0 to 200,000 subscribers within 6 years. Not 2,000. And yet I put so much hard work and time and effort into making these videos, into creating content, into scripting stuff and everything that I've done on this channel. And it's been so slow going. The whole plan of this YouTube channel is that eventually it will become my job because I love making these videos and I want to do something that I love for a living and I love making these videos. You kind of see where I'm coming from here? But it feels like trying to run through water. It feels so slow and sluggish. And it's the exact same for my Etsy shop, right? So last year I spent so much time and money making Christmas designs for my shop. I haven't told anyone this, but I even hired a freelance graphic designer to make some designs for my products because I was thinking, well, maybe it's the designs because I'm not a graphic designer, maybe I'm not good at this sort of thing. And that's the reason why people aren't buying anything. I'm just doing the best I can, but it turns out it could be the designs. So I hired a graphic designer and I spent money on that, and I ended up making about 200 Christmas products, which took up so many months of my life. And out of those 200, do you know how many sold? One. That's right, one. You can imagine how discouraging that was, how painful that was for me to put in all of that hard work and not see any results. Oh, it's the bane of my life, that Etsy shop. That's a joke, just to clarify. Can anyone relate to that feeling of trying so hard at something, yet despite your best efforts, you've only moved an inch? Like, you're here and you've moved here, even though you've tried so hard, even though you've freaking given it your all. What is that all about? Can anyone relate to that? But it's at this point when most people give up. But what James Clear is saying is that the time you put in, the effort you put in is not wasted. Which I know kind of sounds a little bit delulu right now, doesn't it? Because you tried so hard and you're not getting anywhere. But what he's saying is that it's not until years later do we realize the value of this time right now, when we finally see the results. Everything that you're doing is leading you to something bigger. Even if you can't see it yet. Even if you can't see visible results and there's like little to no progress, it is leading you somewhere. It is always leading you somewhere. I think this is something that I need to often remind myself because I often need reminding of literally everything in my life, but that's a whole other topic. So if that is also you, then we are in the plateau of latent potential. You got results on one side and time at the bottom. So we put the hard work in and we expect things to go up in a line like this. So this is what we think should happen, but that's not what happens in reality. Instead, it looks something like this. This bit here is the plateau of latent potential. It's literally plateaued for God knows how long. And it's at this point when most people give up, in the valley of disappointment. And don't I know it. But if we keep going, then eventually it'll do this. Maybe we change things, we change habits, we learn from what didn't work, and that's when things start moving. That's when we see the results, but it could take years. And the only way to not get to the other side is to stop trying. You simply can't fail if you never quit. And if that's you right now, then it's almost reassuring to know that it is still possible to break through to the other side. All it requires is a shit ton of discipline and dedication towards your end goal. It requires you to get back up after you've fallen down and accepting that the elastic band will ping back, right? It will ping back. And that is something that we need to accept if we're going to break through to the other side. It feels like a spy mission now. We're going to put our black jumpsuits on and crawl through fence and kill the baddies. Pew, 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 pew. I don't know if that's how you hold a gun. Maybe it is actually. It's the isosceles triangle thing, isn't it? That's the isosceles stance. I'm severely off track. Right, okay. So the elastic band has pinged back, and once again, we get back up. We try again. Even when we got nothing left in us to give, we try. we keep trying. We work through the frustration, the discouragement, and eventually we will push through to the other side. It feels fucking delusional to say all of this because it doesn't seem possible. It really doesn't. Like, for example, this YouTube channel, is it really possible that we're gonna go places? Come back to this video when I do. If that happens, or maybe when that happens, maybe that's more the speech that we need to change. When it happens, come back to this video in the future and be like, see guys, see, we kept going even when we struggled and we were in that plateau of latent potential for many years. Many years. Far too long. Put a pin in this. Spoiler alert for next week's episode. This plateau of latent potential is kind of reassuring to know, knowing that it is possible to break through to the other side. The view from the other side, maybe? I get so many questions being like, why is your name the Vuftos on Instagram and everywhere? Why? I'm like, it's the view from the other side. It's showing you the real side to life. Anyway, back off track again. So it's reassuring to know that there is hope, and a seed of reassurance can grow into a beautiful flower. Sounds a little bit cheesy, but we like cheese on this channel. So cheese and legit and fancy saying and words. Boom, mic drop. Oh, I feel like I need to calm down. Can you hear my stomach? It's like, I think I missed some crayons. That's gonna be fun. And here's the thing, right? So many of us are consumed by our emotions, by disappointment, by frustration, by anger, by annoyance, that we're still stuck in this place even though we freaking tried. And we tried once again and we're still going. Someone asked me this the other day, how many times do you keep trying before you give up? And I was like, bestie, I don't know. I'm still trying. You learn things along the way, don't you? For example, like my Etsy shop, I started this up. It led me on to my next business, which has generated me some kind of income every month. But if I hadn't set up that Etsy shop, then it would never have led me on to this other business. And I don't want to talk about the other business because I really like keeping it secret and like no one has to know about it. It's just nice for people to not nose around. So maybe one day I will talk about it, but at the moment I quite like it just being a under the wraps kind of thing. Just know that if I hadn't started up this Etsy shop, that wouldn't have pushed me into this other business. But here's the thing, right? So many of us, me included, are consumed by our disappointment, by our failures, by our emotions. And that's okay for a while because it's valid to feel that. But staying in those emotions will only keep us stagnant. You hear what I'm saying? So many of us just like complain all the time but don't put action behind the complaining, so then you just stay there, you're just stuck there. By all means, use that disappointment as fuel to get you back up and get you back on the road and get you back trying. Because I know I've done it before where I've just stayed stagnant because I am stuck with my emotions and I don't let it go. There is so much freedom in letting go. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Why was that a hair flick? Have you ever like really tried to open up a jar of something and you are like twisting that so goddamn tightly and the thing just won't come off because it's freaking welded on? And you're like, this is impossible. This will not come undone. And you're freaking trying, not trying. You might even go and get a tea towel and like eventually something will shift. You're like, okay, you give your arms a bit of a rest and then you go in again and you try and twist it again. Another little shift. And you were using all of your strength, all of your energy to try and take this lid off. So you stop, you rest, you kind of shake out your arms and then you try again. And then you try again and again because you really want what's inside, right? All the good stuff is inside. That's what you want. And eventually you feel it go, right? There's like a moment of, and then it like, it unseals and it's like, oh, it's the best feeling in the world. Is it? I don't think it is the best. But it is a good, like, it's a relief when you take it off. And then you can unscrew it properly and voila, you are left with the goodness inside of the jar. Now, just because the last twist opened the jar, it doesn't mean that all of the other attempts were inadmissible. Every single twist helped you to open that jar. You see where I'm going with this. And so being stuck in this cycle, in this elastic band cycle where we keep trying and nothing seems to be happening, we've got no visible results, it doesn't mean that it's a waste of time because eventually it will go and we will be left with the goodness inside. Is the theory, you know. I'm taking all this from what this guy's done, because this guy has done a lot. I mean, come on. There's a reason why people read this book. It's because it's actually decent. It's got some really phenomenal information in there. And I've only read 62 pages of this. Maybe I should try finish reading this, because it's actually got some decent stuff in it. So if you are also like me and you are in this plateau of latent potential, there is hope as long as we keep going. Let's freaking bust down the doors, thriller movie and all, coming through the ceiling, through the windows, with our black jumpsuits on. We are ready to frickin' go. We've got all of the tools in the backpack from all of the other times that we have tried and failed. Is this motivating to anyone other than myself? Do you know what? It was such a relief to read that in this book, that there is such a thing as the, what is it, plateau of latent potential. Do you know how much of a relief that was for me to be like, oh, okay, this is normal. Okay, this is normal to struggle this much, to fail this much. Because I feel like so many of us want that end goal. For me, like being a YouTuber or being a content creator in whatever format that is. But so many people get put off because they have to do this hard work, because we have to go through this valley of disappointment because of the plateau of latent potential. But if we keep pushing through, we can do it together. I believe in you. I believe in you. Like I say, it's okay to feel your emotions. It's okay to be sad and upset that you've freaking pinged back again, because that was me for like June, July. And now we are here in August and I am freaking ready to bust out some moves. I feel like I've taken some time and I've re-energized and I've come back this like, right, this is what we're gonna do, and the freaking discipline is back and the dedication is back, and that's exactly what I need to try again, to get back up yet again and try making content and try with my Etsy shop and try with this other business that I've just started up. Because what do I do when things get tough? Oh, I start up another business. I start another one. Am I going to get overwhelmed and burnt out? We will see. Come along on the journey with me, because like I say, this is real. And if you want to come along with me on this series, then you're going to want to check out this video right here. And of course, I'll see you in the next one.